Railroad Inc. is not hard to learn. This should only take us a few minutes as we take advantage of the tutorial provided on Board Game Arena to teach you how to play, here on Legendary Tactics. So we have to start out by thanking Leaf Snack for putting together this tutorial. It's a little bit text heavy, but I think you'll find it gets the job done. And we'll have you underway in a few minutes here. So we'll start out by looking at these 4 tiles on the right. These are actually dice in the analog game, which are rolled every turn to give some symbols that need to be placed on the player board in the bottom half of the board there on the left. So the game takes place over 7 rounds, and these dice are rolled every round and gives us 4 new patterns to place. And they can be placed. Now the computer is going to place them here, but if you see the hashed lines there, those are meant to be railroads, and the double line with the dotted line in the middle is a highway. So rails can only connect to other rails, and highways can only connect to other highways, and they cannot touch unless you have one of these tiles here. If you see this one highlighted, where it has like a station that converts highway to rail or vice versa. Each time you place one of these symbols on your board there, or in the real game you draw them in, they have to be connected to your existing route or existing network. The exits around the board can all be part of that network. So you can always use these to connect to any of these spaces. And you'll notice they alternate between rail and highway. So, but it's good to consider. You're never totally stuck. Or very rarely, you have usually somewhere to connect, even if it's just a highway way out in the middle of nowhere. And that is round 2. It's helpful when the computer places them, so it goes really, really quickly. It's not a long game. It should take you anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes for a game anyway. So now the dice are rolled again, giving us 4 new symbols. You can see there's some highway, T intersections, and a curved rail line, and another station which is curved but also converts highway to rail. So these will also be placed by the computer, and you can see they started from a different spot, a different exit on the other side of the board, which is totally fine. And then in addition to the 4 mandatory dice you have to play, there's also these 6 special routes at the top. And you can play one of these per round to a maximum of 3 per game. And you can see they generally tend to be 4-way junctions that are very useful, especially say in the center of the board, or if you need to complete a very tricky route or something like that, they can be very helpful to get you out of a jam. So they are basically, there's an X that's placed on them once they are utilized. And so the computer in this case did utilize one right here. It shows as crossed off on the tutorial side, but it doesn't show as crossed off on the board, which it should be. Then we begin round 3, and more are being placed. You can see there's even like a bridge here where the rail can go under the highway. Those ones are very handy. It allows you to have the opportunity to kind of cross paths. So now that you know how to draw the routes on the map, now let's look at scoring. And scoring here, you can see one of the ways that you get points is for your longest railroad. And so you receive 1 victory point for each railroad, or for each space that your longest railroad passes through. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 victory points for the longest railroad. The next is the same, but for the longest highway. Now we only have 3 tiles here so far, which are highway. So 1, 2, 3. And you can see it's scored on this grid here, along this little this row, essentially a scoring row. Okay, so that's only 3 so far, so we need to build a longer highway to get more points. Also connecting exits. Now you can see that this exit here and this exit here have been connected. They are a continuous route. You can also see this exit. There's a bunch of, this one actually hasn't been connected yet. This one, and this one have been connected because they're all part of the same route. This one hasn't yet because the rail road is not actually connecting it to it. It's actually going underneath the highway, and the highway is yet to be completed. So when we look at this chart here, so we have one group of 3 and one group of 2. So you can see here that we have on this chart is 2 and then 3. So that's 4 plus 8, and that gives us 12 points for the connected exits in that pattern. And this visual here hopefully also helps with that illustration. But basically, you want to try and connect as many exits as you can, and ideally connect them all together. That's obviously the best. You lose 1 victory point for each loose end at the end of the route that's left open. So if you look here, it's actually kind of neat because if you hover your mouse, you can see where these are. You can see, and it's illustrated here as well. So any route which goes to nowhere costs you a victory point. And then on the flip side, you also get some points here for being in this center square of 9 spaces. So every space that you enter there gives you a victory point. I think that's basically to encourage play where people aren't just playing around the edges. It's actually worth going into the center of the board if you can. So you get 1 victory point for each square you filled in the 9 center squares. So because there has been none filled in yet, this is worth 0. Okay, and then you just add up these 5 categories. Once again, connecting exits, longest highway, longest railroad, and the central spaces minus the unresolved roads or rail where they are not connected, not completed. Then that's minus, in this case, minus 7. So that's basically it for Railroad Inc. There's nothing really other than that, other than the strategy of how do you link all these different rails and roads together. So I hope this little tutorial helped you out and helped give you a good idea on how to play. Give it a try. It's a lot of fun, and I really recommend it. It's quite addictive. Thank you for watching. This is Legendary Tactics.